Thank you, Oscar. Thanks for the introduction. So, yes, maybe let's start with the title. Needs some explaining, maybe. Some of you might know that an antipode is just literally the opposite side of the world. So, if I, based in Norway, dig a tunnel through the earth, my head will pop out somewhere in the sea outside of New Zealand. But that goes for most of Europe, because New Zealand is basically just floating out there all by itself, so it's not so special. But that's not the point. The point is that this situation is leading up to a question, which is the question that I will try to answer, at least partly, with my presentation today, and that question will pop up in two slides. But the title is also sort of an homage to this open source community, to all open source community, or even like larger global collaboration. I think that's also important to remind us these times. And it's in many sectors, of course, very useful, but also in my sector, which is industry and sort of energy systems. It's super important. I'm a civil servant working for the Norwegian Electricity Authority, and we are a lot of different countries standing right in the midst of this energy transition, trying to get rid of our dependence of digging up stuff and burning it to get the energy we need and want. So we are trying to take this global responsibility, and therefore it makes very sense to me that we are collaborating globally, and that's also sort of part of this title. And that's also where JADE comes in. JADE is a package. Oscar, you mentioned it briefly in your talk on JADE.jl last Jump Dev, and I won't be able to explain it for the audience today, but for now let's just accept that it's a package that utilizes stochastic dual dynamic programming to make optimal hydro release policies, and you can use it to simulate electricity markets. So that's the key point. And myself and my colleagues, we are used to working much more high level than a lot of the presentations in this talk, and that's you can also see that from my previous colleagues here. And that's why we are working more in the sort of the cross-section between politics and analysis. But I've done some the last years diving into the details of like optimization and energy. And I must say there are a lot of devils in these details. And so this work brought me to New Zealand, as Oscar mentioned. Staying at the University of Auckland with Andy Philpott. He introduced me to this JADE model. I had a beer with Oscar, and I liked it even more. So now we're seeing how we in Norway can use this model in our own work to make better decisions. Speaking of the devils, that's why I found now is the time I go and meet you. So with this presentation, I have two goals, two reasons for showing up here. I want to learn and discuss how we can solve our problems that we have using your developments, and maybe also inspire. So this talk will also serve as a sort of a proof that your work is being put into work, and we're trying to see if we can use it to make better decisions, get more efficient energy systems, and as a civil servant, I can say from us that Norway thanks you for your work in advance if we can make this work. So this is the question I was coming to. How do we take a model from one side of the world and make it useful in another? And I see your faces. You probably know the answer. It's just utilizing all the nice functionalities in the GEM package. We can just make some tweaks. And it's partly true. And I'll try to give one example in my presentation of this. To start with that, first of all, we need to acknowledge that New Zealand is an island, or multiple islands, but electrically it's an island. So power does not flow in or out of New Zealand, but it does in Norway. So this is a quite nice sketch. The simplest thing we did, or to start with this problem, so I will start with this problem, and I will go through the steps and get to the Julia and JUMP functionalities. So we started to trick JADE. We made these exogenous areas, we designed them in such a way that they have one large demand, one power plant, thermal power plant. We just say that the efficiency of the power plant is 1, and that the fuel prices are equal to the exogenous power prices that we want to trade with. So that's quite good. I think it's a quite standard way of doing it. And now that we have these exogenous areas, we can also not only simulate larger energy systems like they use JADE for in New Zealand, but also smaller, so like even single water courses. And they will be price takers and seeing just one price that they try to operate all the power plants down this water course. So my plan was to show a sort of a live demo, but I'm not sure if I can make that. That's always sketchy. Oops.
You can always get it out. Is that coming through on the...
Is it not?
Yep, good.
Okay. Okay, so let's just focus on these. Where's mine? There. These two graphs here. Now I just tricked the original JADE, and you can focus on these two graphs on the edges here. Actually, let's just remove these together. And the left one is the generation through a year of 52 weeks simulated on 30 different weather scenarios. And the right one is the reservoir filling in the reservoirs in this water course. So these are the hydro modules in this water course. And it's trying to maximize the value of the water running through it, basically. So we can see that it works. It's sort of, this makes sense. In Norway we have winter here, so it's cold, it freezes, doesn't come too much water, so we're emptying our reservoirs and it's building up again. But you can see it's pretty nasty here in the generation. This is very chaotic, and even doesn't make sense that these are average values for 30 different weather scenarios. So something's not working very well with this simple approach. And if we also show these are the true historic values, we can see, okay, the filling is sort of onto something, but this is very chaotic. And this is due to multiple things or facts. But first of all, we have now introduced this fuel price, but it's a weekly fuel price. So the water course doesn't see how this changes throughout the week. And also, it also just sees singular or residual demands. So the point of showing this is that we can utilize some JUMP code, and we can make the strategy that we are training in our model dependent on the fuel prices and also changes in demand, and get these purple much nicer curves. And it's not if you're not used to working with sort of hydrothermal optimization, it's not. You're not required to do that. I just wanted to show you this because this is obviously like a very good approval of this initial model, and the point of showing you this demo was that it's with some of the functionalities here, and here specifically parametric opt interface. It's 6 lines of code in the JADE model. So it's defining these the fuel costs as explicit parameters using the parametric opt interface, and then when sampling your noise for your forward pass, you just sample the fuel costs according to the inflow years. So there you also get the correlations between there, and then I just in the objective value I just need to change it from raw data to these parameters. And from that demo, seeing those differences in results, I think it's a quite nice example. We also made it vary within the blocks, but I didn't have that here. So that was one example. There are many examples, but I also want to highlight this for those of you that don't know this feature or functionality, but it's this compute conflict. It's very time saver. So when I was trying to implement these fuel prices or making these exogenous areas, I just got an infeasible model, and normally I wouldn't know what to do, but my good colleague Harald showed me this, and basically, so when your JUMP model is infeasible, you throw this sub-problem or what you call it, the IIS, and very neatly gives you what constraint fails, and I could see that I'd made a simple mistake in choosing the size of this demand, not on the maximum capacity for that block, but for some other value. So it was an easy mistake, but I would have spent a long time on it if I didn't know this. So this is also just a very nice showcase on how we can use your things to make our life easier at the Norwegian Water Resources and Energy Directorate. I think that was my time, more or less. So, as I said, more of a high-level little pitch on that your work is very useful for us, and we are now working with this modeling framework called FRAM. It's out there in the first version, and it allows us to take open source models like the JADE model and use them within our framework without any specific model specific databases or stuff. So it's very interesting for us to see if we can make this happen, and then I think we can do a lot of fun because it's already showing some promising results. Thanks.